afternoon. Welcome everyone for this wonderful afternoon. And today we are going to have Self-Discovery 3.0 by Rachana Mittal. In fact, Rachana Mittal was introduced by Leela Balchaudhary, who was introduced by Bhuvana Paspati. So very interestingly, we are waiting for Leela to give her session. The Guru and Sishya both are completing their self-discovery 3.0. So I think she is very popular and familiar to everyone in the family. And we would like to hear from Rachana about her self-discovery 3.0. You can start, Rachana, please go.
Thank you, sir. So, in fact, I was just telling sir, I wanted to do something in my 3.0 and I've landed somewhere else. So, that is my D1 talking. And I know my SD1 was a rapid fire round, literally a rapid fire. So, I'm just trying to be a little more paced out today. That's what I will try to do. And I have requested some people to join and share their experience during the session. And as my promo went, I am going to share about something called motivation. So, what motivates people? So, interestingly, there are a lot of studies. In fact, in positive psychology, there are 20 theories of motivation. Like, motivation has been studied so much in psychology, but there is no one answer. So, I've just put in some definitions from Oxford, the feelings of wanting to do something. That is what motivation is, especially something that involves hard work and effort. Yeah, if nowadays to watch, Instagram, motivation is not needed, but to do some work, motivation is surely needed. And motivation is derived from the word motive, which denotes a person's need, desire, want, or urge. It is the process of motivating individual to take action. So the main thing is an action needs to be taken and to achieve a goal. So that is what motivation is all about. And interestingly, I was thinking, okay, what is it that motivates? So being an HR head and a mother and a family counselor, so the same word motivation is asked in different forms. So managers come and ask me, so how can I motivate my employees to be more productive? Mothers come and ask, and how can I motivate my child to do something which I ask them to do. And yeah, we will discover few answers and why we need different kinds of motivation and how we can use GBP to motivate people. So what motivates people? Yeah, we always see a carrot and a stick. That is what we think from a corporate. Whenever I say motivation, oh, there is a carrot, there is a stick, and either you use a carrot or a stick. So there are, some people get motivated by money, some get like rewards, some like recognition, some promotions, bonus. What is the designation in the organization? What is the position? And acknowledgement. And sometimes people come and say, oh, this person, nothing motivates him. I just want them to leave. Yeah, but maybe they are not able to recognize what is it that motivates them and help them. So this is what motivates me, I think. Some days it's hard to find motivation and some days motivation finds you. So yeah, we keep thinking, oh, we will do this tomorrow, we will do this today. And some days we really have someone chasing us and we have no other option. We get automatically motivated and complete the work. So let's explore. Let's just go and explore how we can use genetic brain profiling and to motivate people. And I had a couple of discussions with sir and got a lot of inputs, and it's really exciting to see some of the inputs which sir and I discussed. Okay, so I'm just classifying it based on our lobes. Which lobe has this strongest, and what motivates the people in with the strongest lobes. So if a person is having the prefrontal as the strongest, they actually need a lot of space, and independence to work by themselves. They like to be recognized, and I know there will be a slight difference between a left prefrontal and right prefrontal, but I'm categorizing it generally as prefrontal. So they like leadership roles, they want authority, they want responsibility. So when, I was just seeing, with great power comes great responsibility, must have been coined by someone whose prefrontal is strong. That is what I came to the conclusion. They just can't handle someone micromanaging them. You need to give them the work, just give them the space, and people who are with strong prefrontal, they will come back if they are stuck. If you look at them with a microscopic lens, they will leave you. They need visibility. For them, status is important, like they need to be acknowledged, and they love to be publicly acknowledged and appreciated. So you will see a lot of times there are posters and banners, and some people will, why are they even putting these posters and banners? So they might have been right prefrontals who like to be acknowledged in front of a lot of people. So that is prefrontal. So I have a very strong prefrontal, and I think so. I was discussing with some of the people in our network. Interestingly, I just found out a lot of people in our network have a very strong prefrontal and a strong temporal. So maybe that is something I can get into a little more and deeper and see why that is. Then comes the frontal. So people with strong frontal, for them family is very, very important. They like to take up responsibilities. They like to coach the new members who come to the team. They want to be connected to people. They want to be heard that you are the star, right? They like saving schemes. They like money to be growing. And the rewards which are given to them, if they are related to the family, like we sponsor their kids education, or we do a family day event. So their spouse are coming, their siblings are coming, and in the office they see, okay, how well recognized the person is, what kind of respect they have, and spending time with family, for them it's very, very important. So and getting things for home. So if there is a left prefrontal, maybe for them savings is very important, but maybe a right prefrontal would like to save and spend for the family. Anything like a fridge or a TV, which is something which they can take home and use it as a family. It gives them a sense of pride. Parietal, they really like to work. So maybe some of them are workaholics. They would like to go for good shows, movies. They might like to go for an instrumental class. They like to sponsor, if the company sponsors a class for them, a training program, be it for a gym membership or an instrumental program, and they like to see the money. Sometimes we see, where is, show me the money. So I think it must have been coined by someone who is very strong in parietal. They like to get cash rewards. For them, that really makes a difference. They would like to travel. So if you give them a job which involves traveling from one country to another, one state to another, that will motivate them. And maybe just giving them holidays where they can go and trek. They like to get things in rewards which are material, like laptops or gadgets, anything which can be taken and used now. They don't want something which, oh, you give me, I will see it, if it can be used later, it will be helpful for you in later in your life. They like to enjoy life now. That is what they want to experience now. Temporal. So, like a lot of people in the group are temporal. They would like to hear, verbalize what is the money they are getting. You will be getting a cash bonus of $500, or you will get a reward of, say, an investment, an SIP, a stock, insurance paid by the company. You will get a gold coin if you finish this project on time. You need to tell them. It is not like, oh, sending them a message, sending them a WhatsApp, and maybe a voice WhatsApp will be better than a smiley and an emoji. So for a temporal, they want to listen to you. What is it that I am going to get? And they really like instant cashbacks are something which temporals will like. And if you give them a budget, if they save from the budget, that is what motivates them. It's not like, oh, gave me 100 rupees budget, but I spend 100. It's not motivating. If you give a budget of 100 and they spend 90 and they save that 10, They feel that 10 is their earning, that's like, oh wow, what an achievement, that 10 I can spend somewhere else. They would like to get an emotional investment, maybe in land. They want to see their money grow. So you've invested today, in the long term what will happen? They like to have a long term association, long term investment, long term connectivity is what a temporal would like to see in the relationship, whether it be employee or a friends, or anything like that. So they want a commitment to be there in the relationship. Occipital, yeah. So no surprises, digital money. Amazon gift vouchers, you give me, just show me the money. You don't have to tell me what you're giving. Just send in my inbox, this is what you've got. And that is enough. They like to have the latest in technology. So, I used to wonder. So we have this lot of this touchpad, and screens, and then there will be a pen, then there will be a, magnetic mouse and things like that. I'm like, how can you even relate and use these things? So when I was reading, when I was, working on this motivation, then I understood, okay, these are the people with high, on occipital, so that they really would like to have those fine integrated things along with the laptop, along with that gadget, anything which is latest, that is what they would like to have. They really enjoy watching things, maybe a 3D movie, and those glasses in which you watch the movie. I really have not been in a space to even relate to it, but yeah, I'm sure there are people with high occipital who would like to, see those kind of a 3D movies, things which they can take home and decorate. Aesthetic sense is, very important for people with high visual. They would like to see, and they like to imagine, if we are setting up a new office or setting up a home, just call them and, try to get their input. They'll be so happy that, and it comes very naturally to them. So they will not think about, oh, do I have to tell them what will look nice and what will not look nice? That comes naturally to them. So they would be very happy if you get inputs in, maybe changing the office atmosphere, or changing the aesthetics in office or at home, giving them holiday tickets to place, where they can, where there is a scenic view. So that is what, will motivate an occipital person. So these are there, but then we say, okay, will it be same for reflective, affective, and cognitive? No, surely not, with so many. And I'm not even considering the X here, because if I get into that, then I think 1 hour what, sir will have to take separate sessions for that for us. So I also, picked up the processing domains, how we can use that, and how a different processing domain motivates people. So if a person is reflective, for them, if you tell them motivation lasts for some time, okay, and they look forward, okay, we had a bonus today, so, based on that, you will be given awards, and then, oh, we will have a Diwali bonus, we will have a New Year celebration. So they look forward for something. If you just tell them, okay, this is going to come up in the next 3 months and 6 months time, they will look forward and they'll be motivated. Rewards really motivate them. Just tell them this is what you will get, and, putting them and showing them this is what it is. They'll be happy with that. Effective, they need external motivation. Tell them, and if you're giving them 100 rupees, but if you talk to them and, just pour out all the motivation in the form of words and, sensory way, you need to touch their heart and they will feel really motivated. You need to boost their ego. Yeah, why do I have to tell them? Everyone is working for money. Anyway, I'm paying them the salary. It does not work anymore. Cognitive. So there are a lot of people in this group who are cognitive. So it's not at all easy to motivate them. External motivation does not work with them. What works with them is, they evaluate the value of things which is there. Sorry. Yeah. So they evaluate, what is the value in it for me? They have a very entrepreneurial mindset, and maybe motivation is very short-lived with cognitive people. Yeah, today I'm motivated, and yeah, you did what you had to do. So I can't be motivated for the same reason for 2 months and 3 months. That is what happens with cognitive. Okay, so now how we can use GBP and what I've learned from GBP in corporates, how it is used, and at home, how motivation is actually handled. This is something which I wanted to, bring up in this forum because we work with corporates, we work with families, we work with individuals, and understanding this might, help us in our conversations with them. So for corporates, there are so many surveys done, to understand what motivates people, and there are expert team who sit and analyze it. There are decision makers who really want to make the right decisions about it. Policies makers, try to make policies for it, and rewards and HR team create a bundle of activities and options on how to motivate. But really, if we have to see what the end result is, I feel somewhere it is lost because there is no more one rule fits all is no more working. And I'm sure most of the corporates agree money is not the only motivator today because money given in what form? Like I mentioned, whether it is given cash, whether it's given digital money, whether it's given in the form of bonus, everything matters. So I think there is a deeper study needed and really see it has to be individualized. No more corporates can tell, oh, this is 60% of the people who are motivated this way, so I will do. So what are we going to do about the 40% of the people who are there? I really don't know if corporates are really, getting into that space to explore. Motivation at home. So in fact, I was trying to do some Google search on it, and I put motivation at home, and the results are motivation for working from home. And I was like, really? So people really don't even talk that motivation is needed for the family members. It's oversold in corporates and not even acknowledged at home. That is what I feel. And when I talk to families, I think what I hear is we can't motivate to do their duties, right? Oh, my wife has to do this, my husband has to do this, so why should I acknowledge and appreciate? I'm like, why not? When in a corporate we go and say that you're paid money, you better do the job. That does not happen. We say no, we have to motivate to get the best result. The whole essence of that is lost at home. We can't keep praising you every day, but yeah, we can find fault every day. Oh, this is not done, that is not done, you didn't take me here, you didn't take us there. That is done so many times, but praising and acknowledgement is hardly done. And the easiest way out, right? They know what they're good at. Why should I say? Why not? Really, that was the question I had when I was, looking for what motivates people at home. Kids, they're already pampered. Why do you have to motivate them? You actually need to use fear and punishment and they will be in line. That is what most people think when I talk about motivation at home. But sometimes it is the little things that take up the most in your heart. So I feel small actions done at home will really help the family be a better place and a happier place. And motivation, there is a lot of magic at home which gets created at home when people at home are motivated. And so parents come and ask, so what? What will motivate my kid? And I just found this, very, very relative. It seems like once people grow up, they have no idea. Literally, every generation teenager thinks that about the previous generation. I don't know if you will agree or not, but maybe when I was a teenager, I used to think why my parents have to be so serious. Now my kid might be thinking the same thing. Why my parents have to be so serious? Why can't they just be so cool about it? Mom, it's so cool to be, going out and having fun. I think certain things which as a family is important to do is create a culture of appreciation. I think what is given attention grows. If we tell that, this is the right action to be done, our kids will do that action more and more. Model motivation. Kids see what we can keep telling, don't watch iPad, don't watch your phone, don't watch TV. But if we are doing the same things, it's not going to work with kids. Kids are smart these days, okay? It's not like they come back and question, you're asking me not to see TV, but what are you doing, mom? And it's a very, very valid question today. And share why is it important to do certain things. It's easier when we explain why something has to be done than telling, just because I am saying you do it. Yeah, there will be some instances where as parents we have to put our foot down and say that, I am saying you need to do. But the lesser those instances are, there's a better chance that, kids will be able to, work with you, and there's a lot of harmony at home. So I have a few, people for whom we did the GBP. I've invited them in the session. I think they must have joined. So I will invite, sir, if you could unmute. I think Ankit, are you?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm there.
Ankit.
Hi, Rachana.
So we did GBP for his whole team. So I would, like Ankit to share how it helped him in understanding his team and, taking it forward. Over to you, Ankit.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachana. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, I first of all would say thank you, Rachana, to introducing GBP, because I am sure a lot of them are the corporate people in this group, and we are so busy with the daily task and always thinking of delivering the projects that we are working on. So it's also very important to understand the people we are working with. And it's not only about the skills they have, it's about understanding their abilities to be able to perform and how will they be able to perform better. So my understanding of GBP was more around, learning the abilities and skill sets of the people and how we can utilize them better. So definitely, the session has helped me to understand the behavior and learning difficulties of the people. So we did roughly around for 12 team members, right? And everyone have come from different background, different skill set, different experience. Some of them are fresher, some of them come with 4 to 5 years of experience. It's always important to understand what the challenges they face with respect to the behavior, with respect to the learning difficulties because of the change of the environment, and what learning style works better for them, right? So with the session, we figured out what is the big picture that we need to look at. What kind of goals the people are working around. So there could be someone who is an initiator, right? Who comes and take over the task and be able to initiate and come back with a strong delivery. Rather, others who are just a follower. You need to handle them. You need to be able to work with them, to be able to make them learn, to be able to deliver. So that understanding is very important, which the GBP session helps you with, right? And the communication, I think so, is the most important part, because a lot of time as a manager, what we do, we just share the task and then we don't understand how much do they understand. It could be related to the task, it could be related to talking to your communicating with your peers, with your clients. So all of that is very important. Who has those skills where they're able to communicate without any control in the mind, and they're able to clearly speak out, right? So it could be when you're assigning a task, it's very important to give a respective timeline, because some people would not be able to, come back with the right timeline. So within your communication with the team is very important to bring the timeline. Uh, some of them would require a manager to do regular update to. So it's very important for you to understand that, which the GPP session was able to help us with, and also the objective. So some people are able to work better when they have a clear objective of a task, not just been assigning a task. So that's where you need to understand the team which you have, what kind of communication works better for them, right? And also for some people, the visual communication versus verbal works better. And if you would have seen in the corporate culture, more and more presentations are coming into the place, and that's one major reason. And that's also happening internally, not just with the client. So that's one thing we identified, started working, and moving out to the Excel, people started presenting themselves more in the one pagers and bringing PPT presentation, even when we're assigning a task, right? Showing something what we clearly want is very important. That has helped us improving a lot, right? So that's one thing I would like to highlight. And also, some people are very logical when they when you discuss with them, so it's always important to understand the people who are more on the logical reasoning, because you have to put in extra effort as a manager to be able to provide this clear information, make them comfortable with what you're sharing. So that's logical reasoning is also important, not just with what you're doing, with what you're understanding as well. And I think so. It's what overall has changed, not just for a person or as a manager for an organization as well. We have identified people with the correct skills and abilities, and we have brought in some change in the roles and responsibility. I think so. Without this session, would have been very difficult to identify in a short period. So yeah, I think these are some of the major points I would like to bring to the audience here. Yeah, thanks, Rachana.
Thank you, Ankit. We have Vijay also, who's a team leader, and who would like to share his experience, on how GBP was helpful as a team manager.
Yeah, thank you, Rachana. Actually, this is Vijay. I'm working as a team leader, and I have 4 team members under my control. This genetic prime profiling is helping me a lot in various ways in personal as well as my official life. How it is like how I can handle my team members, how I can handle things each and every day. I'm doing multitask in a day, not only a one task or 2 tasks like that. So in a day, I'm doing different tasks. How best we can excellence those tasks and all without forgetting and without doing any mistakes. So and how best I can assist my team members and how to approach them towards attaining the goal of our business. This GBB helped me a lot. And also it helps me how to plan, organize, and execute the work schedules in the team for various campaigns. This helped me a lot. On the other side, I came to know that I have a skill set of attention in detail, which I was really not knowing it before, but this came to me during this GBB session. And I'm working on it to advance further to make sure for an excellence in this regard. And this really helped me a lot as a team leader, how best we can educate my team members when they are coming to when they are coming as a new journey in our business. So yeah, it was very useful session for me, and thanking Rachana for this wonderful session. It really helped me a lot in personal and my official life. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Vijay. And now we have Suraj, who handled some critical, activities in as an individual contributor, but he also oversees what other team members do. So, Suraj, if you could share your.
Sure, Rachana. First off, thanks for having me on this session, and good afternoon, everyone. I got introduced to GBP through Rachana, and I had an opportunity to work with Lata ma'am as well. I would say GBP was an eye-opener of sorts for me, not just in professional life, but also in personal life. So I had this preconceived notion about my strengths and weaknesses, and GBP helped me understand more about these my strengths and weaknesses. What I thought was my strengths turned out to be my weaknesses, and what I thought as my weakness is actually strengths. So this, I would say, one such example would be, I thought I was a best team member, or I would gel perfectly in a team setup, but that's not the case. That's what I learned from this session. I am not by nature, I can't work in a team, it seems. So that's something I would consider this as a weakness. I really started working on this. And the next thing that I came to know about this session is I need to work on my communication. I don't have the people skills. So this is something that I really started working on post the session. And at the same time, I knew I had some strengths, and post the session, I started more working on to expand the strengths to the best of my opportunity. So thanks, Rachana. This really helped me, grow as a person in both as in the personal life as well as officially.
Thank you, Suraj. So these were from, a corporate perspective. So I have someone, even from a family perspective, who would share his inputs. So we have Kadruvan, and, he will share his inputs on how GBP helped him as a family. KK, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Rachana. Hope you are able to hear me clearly.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you and hello all. Yeah, Rachana asked me to speak about the impact on family through GBP. Yes, so when we started first, I had no idea about what is GBP and what it can do about what it's going to say. But just the passionate Rachana made me go through the exercise. On going through, what I learned is, there is an old saying, like, your life is in your hand. I think in a way it's true. They have decoded very nicely, scientifically through GBP. They are able to bring out what is inside you and how you need to accommodate something surrounding you. This is what the impact that I felt in family. In the sense, many things, many a time rather, we feel like we are adjusting, we are compromising. These feelings are sometimes disappointment. We expect something and it's not happening and we get disappointed. And all these things are answered through GBP. Why sometimes you are getting disappointed? Why there is disappointment from somebody else who is close to you, who are otherwise close to you, they love you, they live with you. But sometimes you get a disappointing response from them. That's exactly what is addressed in the GBP. It is like my analogy for this would be like, in a multi-lane roads, when you want to drive, if there are no medians, medians, or there is no traffic signals, signages, what will happen to the heavy traffic, right? There will be absolute chaos. Rather, when you undergo a GBP, what happens? You get to know about each other, what you can expect from them, what you cannot expect from them, or what you can get easily from others, what you can get little pursuance, or you need to accommodate. This kind of understanding, instead of adjusting and living, the understanding becomes better. And this is backed scientifically. I mean, those who have underwent GBP, they would have already realized. If not, please realize. I don't want to explain more on that. That's Rachana's job. She will do it. But take it from me, the understanding about self and the people whom you live with improves a lot. And the best thing that happens in family is, there's a lot of harmony that you can start feeling yourself. And you will not force anyone. After understanding what is difficult to them, you will not force. We are forcing someone because we feel that's good for them, but for them, it is difficult to follow. They don't believe the same thing. Okay, this understanding brings a lot of harmony in family. And at the end of the day, we lead a happy life. I think that's what we are looking for. We all work for hard 10 hours, 12 hours a day, and we take all the chances in life and do everything to stay happy. For happiness, I feel understanding is important. This GBP brings understanding to the core, and once we are able to approach this with an open mind, then really we will live a very happy life. And I don't know whether I communicated everything, but this is what I felt I should share with the team here. Thank you, Rachana. That's all from my side.
Thanks a lot. Very, very helpful and very insightful, I think it was. I have one video which was sent by because they were not able to join, and so they sent me a video on what they would want to share about GBP. So I'll just play that.
Hi, my name is Prakash Abraham. I know Rachana for almost 10-15 years, and her involvement in learning and development. And when it came to my son's career guidance, I reached out to her, considering that I've known her for a very long time. And one of the recommendations she actually shared was to get this GPP exercise done. And quite frankly, we were skeptical in getting this done because it involves all your fingerprint reading and stuff. But eventually, when we saw the result and when we actually went through the entire exercise with her, we were happy, pleasantly surprised, and it was quite insightful in sharing the kind of areas you could focus. It actually kind of broke down piece by piece in terms of what my child's interest areas are and what are those areas which he might not be interested, and it actually helped us kind of carve out where we could focus more because of his interest levels. This actually kind of it was a very revealing exercise where we could kind of fine tune his career aspirations based on his interests rather than we kind of following on from somebody else's advice. Um, Thank you very much, Rachana. I think whatever we did with that GPP exercise was indeed insightful, and I would continue to reach out to you and work with you in terms of the entire exercise and following through. Thank you very much.
So these were, few things which few people whom I wanted them to bring up here and share how it has affected them. In fact, for Prakash, I remember he's spoken only about his son. I know it helped him as a family also, because he understood his wife, and in fact, encouraging her to do certain things based on her profile was something which I really love. He understanding, not only his son, his wife, and his wife also understanding what Prakash is able to do and not able to do. Even a simple example where for Prakash it's very difficult to his body energy is less, so he just does not like to go shopping every day, be it for anything. And during Corona, his wife wanted him to get something very small from the grocery store, and he told, okay, I will order it on Swiggy and you will get it. And she was like, you can't go down to just pick up something, so it's interesting to see these dynamics in a couple, and being able to explain it to them that why someone is able to do this and why someone is not able to do this. Then I wanted to finally come to me and my family, and so in fact I completed this PPT only last night. So you can't just turn on creativity like a fact. You have to be in the right mood. And for me, the right mood is literally last minute panic. In fact, this whole I just put in the content. I reached out to Kritika to help me format it, and then my husband Muthu is who really created so much color in the PPT. Otherwise, we would have only a plain background white PPT, which I would have taken another 2 hours to format. So this is my family, and so the way you see, all 4 of us, we have very highest our prefrontal. So we all need our space, and sometimes we think it is my way or highway, and then somewhere we have to come to a middle ground, looking at what can be done, what can't be done. But it's an interesting thing, with my husband having a high cognitive index, my daughter having frontal X1s for her, and with a fast processing mindset. I just have to tell her not to do this now, and there will be Ganga Jamuna, literally tears flowing from her eyes. Oh, mommy, why can't I do this? And then I have to sit and work with her. I didn't say you can't do this. I just said, let's not do it now. With my son, his parietal and specifically the fine motor skills being the least, he just does not want to pick up the pencil and write. And his ma'am has come and told, he is such a good boy, he listens to everything, but when it comes to writing, I don't know what happens to him. So with he being 100% effective, I try to motivate him by saying, sometimes I have to do a reward and stick approach, but mostly it's a reward approach which works with him. That okay, come, let's do it. He really wants people to pamper him. So I totally understand, me being a 90% effective and he being 100% effective. I think I find my way with him. My husband, high cognitive and the next one. So, GBP really helped me understand, certain things the way he does, and certain things why I am not able to accept some things. So during one conversation, sir told either you accept it or you can just keep getting stressed about it. So somewhere this has helped me, get some acceptances. So this is what my family is and how I motivate. I think I'm still working with my husband on how finding the right ways to, get things which I want to get. I think that's a long journey between any husband and wife for most of the families also which I have done GBP, it's a long journey. There are wives who come back and ask, this is what I want to get done. What should I do? I don't have a secret recipe for that. But yeah, I just kind of give them ways that why don't you try having a conversation, or why don't you writing a note and sending it to him, or why don't you do a creative doodle and send, or why don't you have a logical conversation. So whether it's a logical conversation, whether recommend them to make a nice meal and have a conversation, it depends on GBP, which is their strongest lobe. So that is what I had to share in today's session, and thank you. And I have literally reached some of the family members to share their inputs on what actually motivates them. In fact, I approached sir to ask, sir, what motivates you, sir? And I spoke to Bhuvana ma'am, which is your strongest. So that is how, when I reached I reached out to Anil. So that is how I found out that most of the family members have a good high, either prefrontal or temporal, and that is what I think is the strength of the MiDNA family. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Rachana. And I think, as usual, we'll like to hear from the family members about the session. And before your guests of your who have attended this session, I would like to thank them first for being there, spending their few minutes of time. It's really a good feedback that you have given everyone who has spoken, and it really makes a big difference when it is heard from you directly. And I think this feedback that you have given would go a long way in communicating and using it for other corporate opportunities that we are encountering. We can definitely share this audio bite. Thereby, it makes a better impact on the effect of the use of the genetic brain profiling at the corporate environment. So I thank all the guests who have come here and given a personal feedback. Thank you very much for being there. Now I would invite the family members to unmute and give your feedback, and then I'll conclude the session with my remarks. Yeah, please go ahead, friends. You can unmute and give your feedback.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please.
Hi, Rachana. Good afternoon. That was such a novel way of presenting something. Okay, you did stick to your GBP, but at the same time, you what you're good at, running your company. I think you did an excellent job of getting a feedback from them, and also from a corporate perspective, how GBP is useful, which actually most of us have not had the opportunity to venture out to, because we've been doing more family counseling and more maximum school children and all that. So it was very refreshing to hear how GBP is being used in the offices. And yes, like your people said, if only we could actually crack these corporates and use GBP, it would be so good for them to have a cohesive team, to have a more well-integrated team. And I think, Rachana, you've done a very good job first starting with your office. And now I think it's time you spread it to other offices. I think these feedbacks would help you to do that. I mean, this is what I achieved in my office, and help yourself also, kind. And especially, I was very impressed with what Mr. Kabiravan said about his how GBP was useful for him and how he managed because of GBP. It was so highly motivating and so nice. And yeah, and also Rachana, you're highly clever, Rachana. That's what I would say. So cleverly you put a presentation together without much effort, and your topic of choosing motivation, how people get motivated through GBP. Well, and you did ask me what motivates me and what my strength in my GBP is. And you asked me if I have strong temporal. and strong prefrontal. Actually, instead of prefrontal, my frontals are very strong. And it is, I mean, prefrontal and frontal are almost, they work in tandem, right? So it's the frontal which takes over most of the time. And since it's very well balanced and backed by, again, C3s in my temporal, I do have a lot of motivation for achieving, for helping others, for making a difference in other people's life. Right from a young age, I got into the teaching profession with that attitude in mind, never with the attitude of earning money. Though money plays an important role, but money is not my primary motive till today. It is more like how can I transform another's life? And I think this motivation for me comes more from my frontal, and the money part comes from the temporal part. So that's why it's balanced. And thanks for actually making me think about it. When you asked me what motivates me, I actually got down to thinking about it, and I said, okay, yeah, all my life I've been motivated. Maximum pleasure I get when I'm able to make a difference in somebody else's life, whether it's a student or a family or an individual. So thank you again. Like your office staff, let me also thank you for this opportunity. It was a wonderful show. Thank you, Rachana. Very motivating.
Bhopalan, please.
Yes, happy afternoon, Rachana. It was a very clean and neat presentation. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, please go.
Rachana, it is a very, very clear presentation, Rachana. In fact, nothing like working on one strength. You are identified, there are a lot of areas where we can definitely focus upon. One with maybe the couple counseling or the students. You take up the area of the working with the employees, the staffing area. So it is always giving a lot of clarity on what domain we have to just focus upon, or what kind of the solution we can give for them. It is always taking one specific area and working on that is always a key factor. You actually are doing a very good job. I love the feedback of one of your clients where it just came for live, right? So it is always a good feeling that he's presented himself in the life. So it shows how much of impact you made on his life. And thank you so much for understanding and being traveling with us. So keep rocking and keep growing.
Yeah, thank you, Bhopalan. Yes, Seemaji.
Congratulations, Rachana. Totally unique way, because I believe those who I know, you are doing the best in corporate sector. But on the other side, I too believe we all have our comfortable zones and our, potential in certain areas. You're really doing great. And I've learned one skill, because generally when I make my PPTs, maybe because of my compliance and other things, I put a lot of efforts I can't do in last minute, but you actually have made it, in a very clever way. It really saves time. I've learned one unique feature from you. And I still remember our discussion on family councils. And I'm sure that soon you will be entering to that. And I've seen some of the, responses. Congratulations once again on completion of your Discovery 3.
Yeah, thank you, Seema. Yes, Priyaji.
Yeah, hello everyone. Everything has been said, whatever I wanted to communicate and whatever everybody has said, I agree 100% with all of that. It's a unique way that you've presented entire thing. And yeah, your insights on the corporate, how reading the report from the corporate perspective, professional perspective is something that has added a new dimension to it. I know we have all tried. And in fact, I've always related the disc profile from the corporate section, but then the entire report, how it can be related. I mean, that was something very insightful. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And congratulations. Very well presented, very well, entire thing, it was a package deal, I'll say. Entertainment, you had the best feedbacks, motivating. It motivated all of us to venture out into a newer area. And overall, very good presentation. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, Priyaji. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. So yeah, I'll come. Yeah, please. Yeah, I see Leela. Welcome.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
hello, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Rachana. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so sorry I couldn't join in because I had a pre-planned, committed program already. I walked in and I saw your thank you slide. But Rachana, whatever I've heard really motivates me to go and see the YouTube version once I uploads it. So I've been hearing unique all the way. So I'm looking forward to listening and then getting back to you. Over to you, sir. Thanks.
Yes, Leela. Before the Anil seems to be raising the hand. Please, you can go ahead and Anil.
Hello.
Yeah,
good
please.
evening, sir. Good evening, madam. Rachana, madam, congratulations. Just wanted to wish you, it's a great journey. So you are a very, very good motivator and you're always there for MiDNA family of the time. So thanks for the feedback and everything. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Anil, for that feedback. Yeah, anyone else? Okay. So I have a few points to conclude, and the first one is that Rachana has done more than scans that are required for doing a self-discovery. So I would say she is already qualified for a certification. This presentation is just to hear her version of her experience with the corporate use of genetic brain profiling. Otherwise, the number of scans she has done is quite a high number. She is automatically qualifying into the next level of recognition in MiDNA Global. And the number two is, I was shocked in a way when I heard that she had invested a lot of money in getting this profiles done, and then counseling and all that. She paid for the counseling. She paid for the expert opinion. She has taken so much inputs from me also. So I would say, usually in our family, most of us, it includes me, that we don't invest beyond the report. It's all our expertise and experience. We connect and communicate with our clients. But in case of Rachana, I am told that almost 80% of the revenue that we thought she would have earned or made from it, she hasn't, because she has invested to learn to understand genetic brain profiling and its application. Though a lot of scans could have been done with her corporate requirement and also, I would say she has invested money from the company's point of view and learned and given counseling to their employees and their families. It's an investment, big investment. I think those members of the organization in the team in this session, I want you to communicate to your family team members that company has invested a big money on getting you this understanding, which you can probably think is very useful and relevant to you, but I think it has come at a cost. So this is a great support. I don't think many companies would find this kind of investment worth. Only if you know about genetic brain profiling, you will do that. So my congratulations and special appreciations to Muthu, who doesn't mind spending money if it comes to doing something good and taking a lead and a progressive entrepreneur roles and all. He does excellently well. And I think along with him, Rachana has done a great job in doing so many genetic brain profiling. And the most interesting part is, till date, if somebody has done the comprehensive report in maximum numbers, that is Rachana. So I have a very great appreciation and a kind of recognition for her interest not to compromise on any financial related issues. And whenever it comes to the reports, many a times I only have discouraged her not to spend so much on the big reports and all. But she has wherever she has done maximum number of 8-page reports. And that is an investment she has done once in lifetime, so that this report can be very useful for our clients, not only for now and also for the life to come. And one more point which is very important to note, and Rachana is the only person who has done maximum number of scans outside India. I think she has done quite a good number of scans in US as well. So I think Rachana has a very unique achievements, I must tell, and really very inspiring person. It is just because there are no much discussions happening in the family. Many of you may not be aware about it, but I am personally seen them, witnessed them. So very positive way of approaching genetic brain profiling with all possible channels and ways to it. So a lot of things Rachana has done uniquely, and I appreciate, and I think the credit goes to Muthu also for motivating her to do all these things. And then, and the last thing is, not last, maybe one more point is there, which I'll tell at the end of my concluding remarks, is motivation. So, I must tell this because it is very relevant to also. See, when Rachana asked me about motivation, I said, please don't ask me because I am struggling how to motivate the family members. Because with MiDNA family also, we know there are 100 certified counselors there in the family. And you can see if you exclude our guests here, around 3 or 4 are there. You can say around 20 people, 22 people are only there in the session. So that's a very pathetic, I would say, in a way, for a left brainer to feel disappointed about the motivation is not coming, and I'm really I was not really happy to tell her what we can motivate people. But one thing what I have understood in my personal experience is this: what will motivate employees is a very tricky and difficult topics. Maybe if you work with people for a very long time, you can give some incentives and motivations and see whether it is working or not, and fine tune them. So only if you are in an environment where you are in direct touch with the people who are team members, it is easy to find out what motivates. But if the people are working like freelancers and they work from away from the workplace and they work from home, I think it is even more difficult to find out what motivates them. And I have been really struggling for the last few years, where the motivation reasons are ways to motivate people are actually becoming more and more complex in nature. And especially after this pandemic, I have found it has gone even from bad to worse in terms of motivation. Though genetic brain profiling could give you some indicators, but whether they will work or not, I think only time will tell. Only the real time experiences will help. But it is becoming more and more complex to figure out. But definitely, if you don't work on it, you are going to even really get even more frustrated. So, a better understanding of genetic brain profiling at least gives you some guideline what could motivate. But ultimately, that one-to-one personal choices and also your regular meetings and inquiring what is happening in their family and their personal life, I think the connectivity is very important, and that works with everyone. So first connect with them and then find out what works, what can enhances their exchange of the feeling of we are not our relationships are more formally and we are equal and kind of thing is only the current motivation, that you cannot treat the employee like the way you were treating some years back. Though genetic brain profiling must have been the same, but I think with a new kind of world that is setting in, with so much of stability is not an issue. Everybody wants to just be on an Instagram, instant relationship, very live-in relationship kind of thing. It is definitely very difficult to find what exactly motivates. But it is definitely a very useful exercise to figure out what are likely to work with this person and probably invest in money. Otherwise, your money will go into drain. But with genetic brain profiling, you invest on motivation. At least 50%, 60% definitely would work very well, rather than just blindly investing money on the employees and getting frustrated that it is not working. And I'm seeing in the corporate a new trend that is being seen in the current few months, that is after the pandemic, is something called moonlighting. There are some people who are having no light. That means they don't have a job. And in other side, people are wanting to have multiple jobs, multiple companies, multiple tasks. I think this is the trend now. So in such a scenario and situation, how do you find out what will motivate and how to make the person work only for you, or commit to yourself to a good extent? These are all going to be a very, very challenging task that are waiting for us, waiting for the human-centric employers to deal with. And I think the motivation is a very simple term, but I think it is a very complex thing. But making an effort towards understanding that is a great way. And I think I appreciate Muthu and Rachana and their team leaders to together they can definitely bring in a good environment. I was happy to hear the other day some of the staff are working for 10 and 15 years, and this is very, very great news. And I think all because of Rachana, I believe, because she is a social, very strong, the right brainer except that left prefrontal, all of them are on the right side of it. So she is actually a pseudo left brainer. The left prefrontal is also really not, it is just looking like aggressiveness, but there is no aggression. That is why I told Rachana, you better accept it rather than trying to protest it with your, with a dilemma whether this will, I am doing it right or not. It's better to surrender. And that has been my one advice for Rachana all the time. Please ignore that left prefrontal in your report and just consider it as an A. Sometimes it is not even A, it is an X. So D1 means you are oscillating between X1 and the A1, and that is the D1 part of it. So I personally think, though the profile appears to be slightly on the left side of the brain, but with the D1 and the left prefrontal, you are a clear right brainer, where Muthu is a clear left brainer. And that is why this relationship is putting up with and sustaining. And in a corporate environment also, your role being considered as a HR role is a great role. I don't think without you, Muthu would be able to run this kind of establishment for a very long time. Though it may not be visible outside for people, but I think the role of Rachana in this organization is actually holding on to all these employees are happening only because of your very strong yes, and all the right brain lobes are very strong. With the D1, even the prefrontal is more diverging there. So diverging more in the prefrontal, all the diverging in the other compartments are making you a very truly right brainer. And as a mother, you are given children who have their challenges to deal with you. And I think that's a homework that is for you. And I think Muthu and children, I think the best gift for them in their life is getting you as a mother. I'm sure your ability to handle them, carrying them, and guiding them as a family counselor, you will definitely going to do a lot better. There is some self-doubt and not very sure kind of things are coming. And I think if somebody is pushing you into some challenge, I think you will be able to handle it very well. I think that's being done knowingly or unknowingly. That's my personal point itself. So with this, I would like to thank you for taking up this session and giving you the new perspective. I was very happy that when you said you want to take HR as a subject and motivation as a as a parameter to deal here. Yes, it is very complex, but you have done a great initiation of this. Probably in the days to come, when we start working with corporates, I think our understanding of how corporates are handling their employees and their partners in business, in workplace, I think that will be a added on knowledge for us. But I must thank you for entertaining us with a very unique idea of bringing live feedbacks. Yes, I remember last time your movie ended very fast, but I think this time you found a way to bring in some entertainment, commercials kind of break in between, and it was definitely a great idea. And I once again thank your team members, your team leaders for giving their feedback and making this session more comprehensive and more useful and a good learning for the family members as well. So thank you very much once again, the family members, for attending the session. And let us take, yeah.
So may I interrupt for a minute?
Yeah, please.
I just want to add one more feather in Rachana's cap. though you have mentioned everything, I think she was the first person to start the concept of flying scanner. And she bought a scanner which traveled all over India. And then she gave me the idea. So, and before I could buy my scanner, she helped me with her scanner. She said, now it's in Jaipur. Now you can send it to whomever you want that way. And even when I had to get a scanner in USA, she said, yeah, I have a scanner there. There also I can help you. So it was so amazing the way she's forthright in offering help, and she's extremely helpful. So any family member, if you're stuck in anything, ask Rachana. She's full of ideas how to help people. Thank you so much, Rachana, for being such a wonderful support to us.
Yeah, all that I said was in the brain design, but this having a flying scanner has come from the family, Mittal family. So that's a business idea that is genetically being carried forward. Okay, so nevertheless, that is also something Rachana did. I think definitely a lot more potentials and a lot more capabilities are there. I think she will be a great family counselor, and her getting tied up with Rachana, tied up with Seema is a great combination. I think they will do magic. They are one from south end, one from the north end. I think a lot of family counselings and transformations they can definitely do well. And I wish all the very best to Rachana and Seema in that travel journey as well. So thank you very much, and let us meet next week with another session, self-discovery. Thank you once again. Take care.